Can you tell me what is currently wrong with the current situation that you see on your screen? If you don't, that's no problem, because that's what I'm going to explain today, and take your time while I'm explaining it right now. But this is footage from a person that I coached yesterday, a silver Akali player who wants to main Akali. This was like his 4th or 5th Akali game. If you didn't know I was a coach, I am, and if you're interested in getting my personal coaching, then you can check out the link in the description down below. Now, hopefully now that you had some time, hopefully you see what's wrong with this situation here. Because today I'm going to talk about how to dominate your lane. Now, when I coach people in lower elos, but whether it's bronze, silver, or diamond, I most of the time see the same mistakes coming back again and again. That mistake is not pressuring your opponents enough. Pressuring your opponents is directly influences how hard you're going to win your lane, how hard you're going to stomp your opponent. That's what I'm going to talk about today. 2 concepts who basically count as one concept. So without further ado, let me already mention them. The first thing I'm going to talk about is keeping in mind the ability cooldowns of your opponents. For example, when Vex uses an ability, and we still have our abilities, then we have a trading opportunity. Because when we trade with our abilities onto her, she can't really trade back because she already used her abilities previously. That's the first concept, and I'm going to show you in depth what that looks like. But the second concept is also important to know because they go hand in hand. So the second concept is whenever a minion in your minion wave is low, the opponent is going to walk up, and therefore you can predict what he's going to do. He's going to walk up. That means you can punish him. When your opponent walks up for the minion and you walk up as well, then they have to make a choice. Do they go for the minion but take damage from you? Or do they walk back and give up the minion? That's what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm going to show you immediately what's happening here right now. So I'm going to play it out. And this is why the first and second concept, they basically form one concept, especially in the lower elos. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that right now this minion is low. So typically when a minion is low, enemies want to last hit it for gold and XP. The problem is most Akalis in the lower elos won't pressure the Vex, and this is the same case in this scenario. So right now, instead of Akali being here all the way in Narnia, she should be able to walk up and try to fight with Vex if Vex decides to use her abilities on the wave. Or if she uses to attack the wave. Because even if she only auto-attacks, that is still, like, she still needs to stand still to farm that minion, like, to do the auto-attack animation. And that's still a trading window where you can attack her and walk back, for example. But what we see right now, the minion is low, so we know that Vex is about to walk up. So she already walked up here. But she also uses her abilities on the wave. So typically in the lower elos, you're going to see that players are not only going to, like, use abilities randomly or walk up to last hit minions, but they're going to combine both. Because they're not confident in their auto-attacking capabilities, instead of trying to last hit a cannon minion, for example, with like an auto-attack, to make sure that they have it, that they get it, they're going to use an ability. So this is a win-win situation for you, because now they walk up and they waste abilities. So now all you have to do is also walk towards them and you have a free trade. So let's play this out. Vex right now used E, Q on the wave. So she has no abilities except for her W right now. Her fear is down. And she got a minion, so she used everything, but she got the gold, and she didn't get punished for that. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that should happen right now? No, it shouldn't, right? Whenever Vex wants to farm, she needs to make the choice. Does she get the minion, right? Does she give it up by walking back, or does she get the minion, but does she trade HP for that? Because Akali should right now be here. So I'm going to show you another example, so we're just going to play it out here. Again, right now, this minion is low, this minion is low, this minion is low. I think we can all agree that Vex is obviously quite interested to farm minions, right? People are willing to sell their house to last hit minions, especially in the lower elos. They overextend, they don't see the threat of it not being worth to like farm a minion if it costs you half your HP bar. They're typically going to go for minions that they shouldn't go for. Sometimes you just have to give minions up. That's just how it is. At least if you waste your abilities constantly. Right now, Vex obviously wants these minions. So as Akali, what do you want to do? You want to stand next to the wave so that she can't hit the minions and you at the same time. So if you stand next to the wave, that already happens. And 2, you want to position aggressively like this. You want to walk up so that when Vex gets in range to last hit these minions, you're in range to trade back with her. So here what happens, look at the Akali. You take a trade. This is perfect, right? This is exactly what I told to Akali right now. You have to walk up because Vex wants to go for these minions. So this is really good. But now, Vex doesn't have E and doesn't have Q. She doesn't have fear, so she only has her W. And we're walking back. Instead, we should have walked up, looked for an even longer trade with the Vex, and get her to like half HP. That's how much you want to punish her for farming these minions. Instead, we're very passive here, and we immediately walk back. I'm going to go over one or two more examples to make sure that this is completely clear. So here again, this minion was about to die. Why are we standing back here in Narnia? Why not walk up? Yes, she's about to have her fear up, but we can still like get a cheeky Q and move out. You want to pressure her, or at least you want to look if you can pressure her like as much as possible, basically. That's what it comes down to. So here again, let's fast forward it a little bit. This minion is low. So here, I'm going to go back. I was a little bit too fast, actually. But I'm going to go back a little bit because it's quite important. So right now, if you're the Akali, you already see that this minion is getting low, this minion is getting low. Right now, this is going to be the focus for Vex, right? So what do you want to do? You want to walk up like this. You right now want to walk up like this so that when Vex goes for this minion, you can look to trade, right? So right now what happens, Akali goes for this last hit, but she didn't realize that when she goes for this last hit, Vex can easily hit the Akali and also farm a minion, right? So now you trade HP for one minion and Vex damages you and also gets a minion. So that's not an even trade. So instead I would have given up the minion and I would have looked to do a trade. Or you could even walk up as Akali, Q on the minions, right? Q on the minions, but then W and Q onto Vex, for example. Again, this minion is low, and especially with Fiddlesticks coming here, our jungler, we don't have to walk back. We just have to stand here. Right now we want to hover Fiddlesticks, right? Because that's our jungler, that's safe if we hover him, and it allows us to pressure the Vex whenever she wants to walk up for a minion. So here, we are walking away from our Fiddlesticks, and we're also walking in Narnia right now. Look how far back we're positioned. Why not stand here? Why not stand aggressively? Because now Vex can easily kill these minions, and we can't ever trade back. Because her Q has that long range. So here, again, we walk back to Narnia, right? We walk back to Narnia, and now you could argue, yes, but we don't have vision. Yes, but that's a completely different concept, right? We should have had vision. And during the coaching session, I talked about how to set up vision in this exact scenario, right? I'm not going to talk about that right now because that's going to take up too much time. That's why there's coaching. But I might split it up into a second video where I talk about vision. But for now, I'm not going to mention it. But here, it's easy to put vision. I'm probably going to mention it in a new video. But here, you should have vision. And therefore, you would be able to play aggressively. Because vision allows you to play aggressive. So here, assuming that you have vision, right now you can play aggressive. Here, this trade is less good. And I'm not saying that you can never trade with your opponents when they still have all of their abilities. But here, obviously, it's harder to trade with your opponent if they have all their abilities. Because now it should be relatively even, right? Depending on what type of champions you play. So here, this is not as beneficial as trading with Vex when she already used all of her abilities and you still have all of your abilities. So this to me looks more of a random trade. If you want to trade like this, before, like since Vex still has all of her abilities, you don't want to walk to her in a straight line. You want to bait out her abilities, use Shroud to play around with her, be invisible, and make sure that you can dodge all of the abilities that she does. And then you can look to trade with her. But if she still has all of her abilities, you can't just randomly walk at her and look to fight her unless you're stronger than her. Using this is already going to help you a lot in terms of just completely destroying your lane opponent. And obviously there's more to the lane than this, like warding and like other stuff. But obviously I want to make it as clear as possible. I'm a very big fan of giving people one or a max 2-3 concepts so that they have something to focus on in their next games instead of hearing about 20 concepts and feeling very confused and don't know what to implement in their next games. So hopefully it was really clear what I tried to say today. This should help you dominate your lane a lot better. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video as well. So if you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like and subscribe on your way out. And if you're interested in personal coaching, like I said before, feel free to check out the link in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.